I used to hate the water. I can't imagine why.
All right, I want to welcome everyone to the RAW H2O Podcast.
Buenos dias.
Eric.
Sir.
It's good to see you.
Likewise.
Yeah. What's new?
Well, I had a pretty eventful Friday night.
Okay.
I watched the Astros win Game 3 of the World Series.
Right, how was that?
Fantastic.
Okay.
I then proceeded to climb into bed and get all teary-eyed to clips of Undercover Boss.
Right.
Have you ever seen that show?
I
don't think I've ever seen a full episode, but it showed the end, the clips, and
I've never heard of it.
tugging on the heartstrings.
You look like you're going to cry right now.
I might.
What was it about?
So it's basically bosses of large corporations that go undercover,
Okay.
work with some of their employees,
Right.
and there's actually a couple that got fired because they were
Okay.
talking crap about customers and such.
Right.
And then, but there were a few that had been there a while, busted their ass, and it gave the head boss opportunity to see and get to know his employees.
Right. You
And
guys got all this?
Yeah. And so at the end, he offered to pay some medical bills for him and a bunch of other stuff, buy him a house. And so, yeah, man, it got to me a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah.
And you cried?
I got pretty
Was
teary-eyed,
it like
yeah.
a manly cry, or was it like one of those like
It was like I
girly-
was feeling.
know?
I don't really get all huffy and puffy.
Gotcha.
But it was definitely like, man, I could feel those people, their relief
Right.
from all they've been
Sure.
through. Yeah.
Like the stress was just
Yeah.
it was gone.
Yeah,
you
it was
know?
amazing.
Right.
It's amazing to see that in people. So, yeah. How was your Friday?
It's good. Dad life.
Oh yeah, DL.
I do a lot of you guys. Well, you all know that I do extreme kayak fishing full time, but I also do personal training, as you can see right here. Train
Hey-o.
with Joe, or not at all. And I love it. It's awesome, but it is.
And that's every day, or 6 days a week.
Well,
at
here's the
least.
thing, which I didn't know was going to happen because I don't really advertise it. And I've just been picking up so many clients lately, just from word of mouth.
Sure.
I'm training boxing now.
Oh, there you go. You
yeah.
know, I boxed in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost made it to Golden Gloves, and then I decided to quit because I heard of people getting killed there, and I was like, no, not for me.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, yeah, I went from that to the
You don't want to
rifle
mess
club.
this up,
No.
with the mustache and what you got going on.
Yeah.
It's your symbol. So.
So, yeah.
Right. By the way, I was in your bathroom in the office here.
That's weird,
By the
Joe.
way, the new office is amazing, right?
Thank you.
We have to thank Worldwide for this.
Worldwide, Bill Bragman.
Yeah.
Railblazer helped out a little bit. So,
Right.
Yeah, it was a big team effort, and I think we have a great office here. And,
Yeah. I think this is going to be
studio.
this is going to be great for you guys, especially with the show. We're going to have some awesome callers, awesome topics. Eric and I are already hard at work, trying to get this thing moving. It's
So
been,
hard.
Yeah, it's been, listen, with schedules, we all have a full-time job, so we're trying to, get the hours ready and set so that we can really bring this to you, just like we did with Fred, when it was Freddie and I, and then before that, Jay and I.
Trying to get my rap career to take off.
Exactly. So, and speaking of career, that you're branding yourself now, correct?
Well,
With the shirt? Can
some
we
people
explain
reached
that?
out to me after our first episode.
Right.
Towards the beginning, when you were
Okay.
introducing me, I said, yeah, it's going to get weird. I'm into some weird stuff. And
Yeah.
one of my buddies from high school sent me this logo and said, man, you should throw that on a shirt. And I said, yes, sir, I will. So,
Looks good.
yeah, thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks.
Maybe I'll wear one.
I don't know if they make your size. What's that, extra medium?
It's just medium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got to go back to the bathroom thing.
Okay, sure.
So I used the facilities in this awesome office that we have here.
Yep.
And I noticed it was like a, like gel, but it was for a mustache, correct?
Yeah. So it's a wax.
With like this little comb thing.
yeah.
Okay.
Comes in a kit.
So that was like really for your mustache. That's
Absolutely,
Not, that
every
wasn't
day.
a joke. You didn't plant that there.
Why would you
knowing that
think?
I was gonna
Why would
take
you
a
think that's a
poop and-
joke?
I just don't know.
Is this a joke to you, Joe?
It was very strange.
This is-
It was just it's like this little midget thing, with like this little midget.
That's all you need.
comb,
You just
and
need a little.
It's like a Hobbit thing.
I don't know about that. I've never hobbited.
I got a feeling this is really loud.
The microphone?
Yeah.
I'll play with it.
Yeah, sorry
whatever.
guys, we'll figure all this out. Studio's great, right? We got the TV set up. You can see the logo.
Finally. Can you get your
hopefully.
mouse off the TV? That looks like shit.
Yeah, I know. I got like papers. We got a lot of stuff to go
Hey,
over
prepared,
here.
man.
I know. We got to prepare ourselves.
Part of
right?
it.
before we get into all this, okay, obviously first I just want to say that we have a guest calling in the second segment of the show, and he is a witness of USOs. Now,
Yes, not to be confused with UFO.
Eric, do you want to explain this?
I
they
don't.
understand?
Have at it.
Okay, I'll explain it for the most part. And then we'll get into a little more depth later on. But so basically, a USO is a underwater submersible object. Okay,
Underwater or unidentified submersible object? Because if you're saying submersible, that's already describing it being underwater. So I think it's unidentified submersible object.
Object, yes.
There you go.
I love you.
That's why I'm here.
Right.
That's why I'm here.
Just pick me up.
Well,
I'm falling down.
make the
now.
people proud.
I'm sinking. You're pulling me back.
You almost became a USO
That
yourself.
was really bad. Yeah.
That would have been bad.
Whatever it means, but so it is a UFO, okay, but it has to do with
Underwater,
water,
yeah.
underwater.
It's a swimming UFO.
A what?
A swimming UFO. There's a lot of
That
acronyms
is a
being thrown around right now.
a toe twister.
It sure is, sir.
La, la, la. So we have a guest that's calling in, and as you guys know, this podcast is gonna be about everything water-based, everything salty, like our saying says. And actually, it's a good point to talk about the name change.
Yeah,
Now
absolutely.
that we're kind of but long story short, we have a caller calling in. He has been witnessing some of these USOs, and it's very intriguing.
Now, and where at now?
New Jersey.
Jersey.
My home state, yes.
Gotcha, okay.
So I think it's very interesting. He's seen some pretty amazing stuff. This is multiple times we're talking about, not just one.
And he's not the only one.
And he's not the only one, right? So I think it'll be interesting to talk to him. As most of our fans know that listen to the show on iTunes,
Yeah.
Jay and I especially were hardcore into the Bigfoot UFO stuff.
Sure.
When Jay came aboard, or not Jay, when Fred came aboard, we kind of lightened it up a little bit, but a lot of people want us to get right back into it.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
I think it really is.
People love the unknown,
Exactly.
you know? So,
So we're going to bring you that.
absolutely.
On our very first, I would say this will be our first real episode, right?
Sure.
The other one the other one was a transfer. I feel like it was
Okay.
kind of like a handling of the torch-ish.
Sure.
Talking about the winter. This one's good, like going back to the roots.
Okay.
I feel like of what made us popular.
Sure, that made sense. Well, I mean, while we're at it, do we really want to switch gears a little bit and talk about
Yes.
what's coming up for EKFT 2020?
Definitely.
And then we'll dive right back
Right.
into the USO.
Yeah, I get all excited about all that stuff. So I just
Yeah, well, I think we talked about that last time. I'm here to keep you cool.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chill you out a little bit. Yeah.
So
So,
EKFT,
yes, sir. Y'all are first freshwater. That's exciting.
we're ready. We are.
So let me ask you, how did that become?
So, all right, it's kind of a long story. I'll
Can you make it not long?
right. So
Thanks.
we have been doing this now for about, I would say, 10 years. I think this will be our 10th season, our 10th tournament season.
Okay, that checks out.
Right. And as you guys know, if you don't know, we put on saltwater offshore kayak fishing tournaments.
Badass kayak fishing
you, sir.
tournaments.
I personally don't look at them as kayak tournaments. I look at our events as fishing tournaments.
Yeah, see, let me stop you there, Joseph.
Thank you.
J-Hack, if I will.
Right.
There's something to be said about fish being caught from self-propelled craft.
Correct.
So it's important to throw a kayak out there.
Yes, I agree. 1,000%. And we have probably the most badass anglers out there.
Sure, yeah.
But to me, it's more of a event, right? It's more of, especially the summer slams.
Right.
So I like to put us up sometimes, and even 10 years later, we still get this. When you put, like, we're a kayak tournament, and you say that to somebody, they automatically think like, oh, it's like a little
cartoon.
Yeah, it's like a little bass tournament,
Right.
a little kayak bass tournament.
Yeah,
Like,
well-
you know what I mean? Like it's just a stigma.
I hear you.
So I kind of like throwing us in there with like the top dogs right away.
Sure.
Like we're a billfish tournament.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like when
absolutely.
you say that, what do you think of right away? You think, classy.
Yeah, sport fisher with
sport-
flags. And,
right.
Yeah,
$1 million
yeah.
sport fishing boats.
Yeah, I think we piss off them catching the same fish out of our $2,000 kayaks. I think
warming
a few of them get a little.
They're warming up to me.
No, yeah, I'll give you that. And they've become more friendly over the years on the water.
We have a lot of them that fish for tournaments now.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
very true.
We got the Jamie Bum with his blue water.
See, I think all it takes is once for someone to get offshore in a kayak to realize it's not as bad as they thought it was.
Correct.
And once you do finally land a solid fish from a kayak, you realize why you're doing it. It is such a difference, so much more rewarding catching that fish from a kayak.
I agree 1,000%. I think that's the thing that really took us to a new level was, we had our summer tournaments, right? And when we put on the very first sailfish tournament,
right?
And actually that same year we did the Bahamas, so that was a big year for us.
Oh wow! So
that was a big leap.
Sailfish Smackdown and
were created
Battle in the Bahamas
in the same year.
Ooh, that was a rough year for you, huh?
That was
14 maybe.
That was
13.
13.
Yeah.
2013.
And then you did 2013, 14, 15, and 16 Bahamas? No, you only did 3 Bahamas.
We did 4 years.
4 years. So it was 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yep.
And I did the last 2 with you. That was man, I missed that tournament. Such a blast. Poor people over there.
They got devastated.
That's rough.
Yeah, and listen, with the sailfish one, that put us on the map. And the reason being is the very first one, we didn't have a lot of people. Actually, I had a lot of emails and people telling me, this paper keeps sticking to my arm.
Is that because you're sweaty, Joe? You getting sweaty in here?
Yeah.
I turned it down for you.
By the way, this guy hates AC, so it's probably like 95,000 degrees in here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to save.
And I'm wearing a black shirt.
Yeah. Well, it's not sunny in here, so that doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm just trying to save my employer a little bit of money. All right.
I get you.
That's why I'm here.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah. But the very first Sailfish Smackdown had Chris Thomas, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Win the tournament.
I think, didn't Ryan Jones also place in that one?
Second place.
Yeah, so 2 people, Oklahoma, out-of-staters, landlocked people that don't get to fish salt a whole lot, came in and demolished these locals.
Beat the locals, and that was the very first EKFT event that had a winner from out of state.
Oh.
So it showed.
Nice.
Yeah, so it showed the world, listen, you can come here, compete with all these local
And now there's
anglers.
been quite a few out-of-towners placing, winning.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And,
I mean, SummerSlam, all of that stuff.
And I highly expect that to happen at the Peacock tournament. When I went peacock fishing, I took an out-of-towner.
Right.
And day 1, we only caught fish on live bait. Day 2, we only caught fish on artificial.
Yeah.
And we tried both days. It was so weird.
Yeah.
So there's no telling what's going to happen at that Peacock tournament.
I mean, listen, a lot of people think that it's going to be easy. Like they think they're going to go out there and catch,
And they might go out there and catch.
Well, listen, first of all,
you got to catch big.
Your fish has to be 3 pounds and up.
Okay.
That's not a small peacock.
Sure. But you have to do that to protect the
exactly.
fish.
Listen, it's a catch and release tournament.
But it is still a live weigh-in.
Correct.
Yes.
So there's a lot that's going to go into this.
I hate CPR tournaments.
Oof.
I hate them.
And what we're going to do is, this will be kind of like a Bassmaster Classic-esque, but just with peacocks, and on stage. Yeah. We are going to have a clown knife division. If you guys want to know more on the tournament, we will discuss that. I think that'll take its own podcast show to discuss that whole thing. Yeah. We'll get some awesome guests in here, probably like Monster Mike.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll really, hone in on that once we get a little closer. But if you do want information on that tournament, you can go to extremekayakfishing.com. And
maybe we try to get a guide for Lake Ida. Call in.
We've had that before.
Okay. That's right. You did. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Bill Lepre.
Yeah.
You could listen to that past show. That was on. That's right on our
2 episodes back, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty recent. So definitely listen to him. That guy knows his stuff. But yeah, we're really excited about this tournament. And really, in the end, it's all about expanding the brand.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So we want to just cast that net out and get as many people
freshwater
as possible.
bass fishing appeals to much more people than going offshore in a tiny boat.
Of course.
I mean, it's a very calm lake.
Right.
Your biggest issue is going to be wave runners out there.
Right.
So, people are going to have to watch out for that. Well, wave runners should be watching out, but we know how they are.
Right.
But yeah, and it's an easily navigated lake.
Sure.
Listen,
if we can bring kayaks from one country to the other logistically,
right? That was
I think we can probably pull this off.
Yeah.
So, and listen, the Sailfish tournament is not an easy tournament to put on either. A lot of people, forget. Like getting multiple boats every year for that tournament and have them show up.
Oh yeah, that's
is really difficult,
Sure.
and it's a lot of work, a lot of logistics. We have it down now, to where it's.
But I'm sure every year, one or two
Curveballs
boats back
all the time.
out, and you got to
Happens
find
all the time.
Yeah.
All the
So
time.
I mean, the logistics is never ending.
No, I mean, listen, we secure 5 to 6 help boats because we know that 2 will show up, and that's just a fact. That happens every year.
It sucks, but you can't rely on other people. It's just how it is.
So I mean, and the good thing is though, we are talking with a sponsor now. I can't say it yet, but this could very well be a huge sponsor for us.
Boom.
Where we do not have to worry about boats ever again, including the Peacock Bass Tournament, because he also has skiffs as well.
Damn, son.
So if it happens, this could be huge for the tournament series and for my sanity.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I doubt that, but
No, I'm always crazy. Yeah.
so fun fact about crazy: if you are crazy, you don't know you're crazy. So you admitting you're crazy tells me you're not crazy.
I really don't. That wasn't. I don't. What do you mean? I don't get it.
One of the stipulations of being
Right.
crazy is not knowing you're crazy.
I like that.
Yeah, so all these people calling themselves crazy and everything, no, they're just being assholes.
Right. Well, real quick, I just want to read off the prizes for the Exotic Bass Roundup. And that's taking place at Lake Ida, just so you guys know.
And are these prizes as of now, and they may go up?
They could. Yeah, definitely.
They're just not going to go down from here.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. So we got 2,000 from Nautical Ventures.
2K?
Yeah, which is
Nice.
awesome for first place.
Nautical Ventures, good people. I used to work over there.
Yeah, so $1,000 from Yak Gear for second place.
Hey-yo.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
We got Garmin chipping in 500 for third place.
Fantastic.
And then it goes down from there, like 250, 150, blah blah blah. You can go to the website, check it out. But yeah, it's a good strictly all cash tournament. So
So no prizes given away?
there will be like
Okay.
on the side.
Sure.
We are going to set this up pretty much like the Summer Slam, where we're going to have a kickoff party. We're going to have an awesome raffle.
Where's the kickoff party? I haven't heard anything about that. You're still setting it up?
That's
or?
another thing. Yeah. So the way this event has been set up, this isn't taking place in Pompano. So,
But it's very near. It's a 15-minute drive on 95.
Yeah,
it's very close.
But the Palm Beach Sports Commission is the main sponsor of the event.
Oh, wow.
And they're kind of finding us venues and places. They're all in cahoots. It's kind of political, but they're gonna get us the kickoff party. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Duffy's, which would be awesome.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I like that
Part of
place.
it. Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it should be good. And our staple brews room will be there for all the Pompano events, like always. I love that place.
Yeah, I eat lunch there. They're across the street from us right now.
They're great. So yeah, so we're really excited, and it's we just got to grow it, and hopefully people like it.
Yeah.
I think obviously you got to put on the first one, and having great photographers like Bustamante, Dennis, guys.
Those
like,
in the water shots are killer. I
yeah,
mean,
they're killer. Imagine like a clown knife shot, like what Bustamante gets, like stuff like that.
Right.
I think would be just I got
So
it.
let's tell you the first clown knife I caught. I was on the paddleboard.
Right.
And I hardly had to fight it because it started jumping right next to the paddleboard and jumped and just landed right on the board.
Really?
And that was the end of it. Yeah, that was it. It literally it took my lure. I caught it on an artificial, which I was with Nodal, Brandon
Okay,
Nodal, and he took me and he's like, I've never seen one of these caught on artificial. So live.
I haven't either.
Live target sardine. They look just like the shad out there, just like the.
You're telling everyone this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in my video. Go check out my YouTube page. I do a little how-to on how
What's
to
your
catch
YouTube?
El Pescador Erik, just like my Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah, it literally followed the lure up to my kayak. Or, I'm sorry, paddleboard. Grabbed it right there.
Okay.
As soon as I set the hook, it jumped and just landed flat on the paddleboard.
Okay.
And that was the end of it.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're a fun fish to catch. I wish I could have
they're
fought
great.
it more, but
I caught my first one with Deep Blue Kayak Fishing with Marlon Matt.
Gotcha.
And it was awesome. We did a video on it as well, and just a lot of fun. They're such a strange fish. I think the exotics and invasives in general have pretty much, it's kind of like a new staple for South Florida, which is pretty cool.
Well, for a long time, peacock bass has always been a bucket list fish, especially for freshwater fishermen.
Sure.
But traditionally, you had to go to South America to catch them.
Exactly.
What's it been, about 15, 20 years now?
I think 1990s they were
introduced here, and you know, the population's exploded. There's some 10-pounders out there, and
there's a lot of other stuff too.
There's a lot of other stuff too. Like a lot of people fish saltwater because of the never know what you're going to catch aspect.
I was just going to say that.
Well, down here,
now
freshwater has that. Yeah. And it's not your largemouth, and it's not your white bass that, you know, if you're on ultralights, they'll put out a little bit of drag. But no. You could be using medium gear, and these peacocks and clown knives are still going to pull drag out on you.
No, you're right, 100%.
And
it's amazing.
That's what I live for. I love that drag and that sound and that.
I mean, listen,
it's all about it.
You can go to Miami right now, drop a dead sardine in a canal, and have a very good shot. I would say a 30% to 25% chance to catch a freaking red-tail catfish over 20 pounds. Think about that.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That was on River Monsters
I haven't caught one
with
of those
Jeremy
yet.
Wade. There was an episode on red-tail catfish, and he pulls in like some monster. I'm talking like 150
that's what he does.
pounds, you know. But, I mean, listen.
Where was that at? Do you remember?
I think South America.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all in that like Amazon, you know. But even little tiny fish that you can find here as well now. What are they called? It's going to drive me crazy.
Which one?
There was a school. There's a pond by my house.
Yeah, I think I've been there.
Yeah, way deep in Miami, right?
Pond by your house, but
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, far away.
Yeah, okay.
And I saw a school, like the sun was glimmering on the water. And I saw a school of, what do they call it? Congo Tetras.
Congo Tetras.
Yes. If you don't know what a Congo Tetra is, look it up. They are a beautiful, beautiful fish. They have like long tails with like this white line on it. And then they're this beautiful, like blue, big scales like a tarpon.
I used to have goldfish with long, beautiful tails.
What happened to them?
You fucking turtle ate them. Anyways, I think they've already heard about that in a previous podcast, but...
What? I think we talked about my killer turtles.
Yeah. That was really why I teared up last night during Undercover Boss.
I mean, listen, in the end, you know, you made it worse for that goldfish. Erik tried to put it out of its misery. Long story short, we'll make this really quick. Big Mama,
just catch him up.
Big Mama, my turtle, she bit all the fins off but kept it alive. So it was like suffering,
just flopping
like,
on top of the water. just flopping.
Yeah,
on
top. She was struggling. So
this was within 5 minutes of putting it in there.
So Erik felt really bad. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to put her out of her misery. So what does he do? Right? He goes over and like scoops her up ever so gently, you know, like caresses her and pulls out this knife to like slowly like, you know, stick it in her brain and kill her. But no, he like kind of like missed and like stuck her in the stomach.
I don't remember it hitting the stomach, but I definitely missed.
And then she's like bleeding out of her orifices, you know, like gurgling and stuff. And then he's like tries it again, and he's like sticking her.
It took twice. I got it on the second try.
Maybe, I don't know. That
was like a year ago. I don't know if you.
So
remember.
Anyway, that fish died extremely bad. First, it lost its fins. Then it like got
Did
a
you
hole
ever
punctured.
See the black one come back up?
That one totally disappeared.
Yeah, they ate it all.
Yeah.
They ate the whole thing. They saw us take away the one that they only defend, and
yeah, they got pissed.
They just went ahead and demolished the other one.
I mean, you know,
but that's the thing is things like goldfish and things like these freshwater fish that are typically in aquariums.
Right.
You let them go, and they're going to grow to the size. A lot of them will grow to the size of their container, if you will.
Sure.
So if they're in a canal system where there's really no size, you never know what you're gonna get. How big are those? What'd you call them?
Congo Tetras. They get about this big. Only.
Okay.
But they're cool because they look like a mini tarpon with really long fins.
Oh, okay.
With a blue shimmer, you know.
Sure.
But again, it's what I'm trying to say is like when now you have these Congo Tetras starting to breed, right? That's bait and food for bigger Amazonian fish. So this whole ecosystem to me is slowly changing.
Sure.
Not just with the top predators, but it's slowly changing with
the whole thing
food.
between that I applied to be a python hunter in the illumination program out in the
Right,
Everglades. I mean,
yeah.
people don't realize there's anacondas out there right now.
There is anaconda.
That is nuts to me.
We need to get a guest on for that.
Absolutely.
That would
I
be
hope I get
that
approved.
would be a killer show.
If I get approved, we'll get somebody who's actually been doing it and kind of school me a little bit on here.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe get some video.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take you out there with me. You're going to have to go hunting with
That
me.
would be awesome,
Yeah.
man. I got the perfect guy that'll go with us, Devin.
Devin? Yeah.
Yeah. The
Cool.
guy that's...
There's been a handful of people that reached out and said, "Hey, if you get approved, I'm going with you." So
Listen, if you guys want to
Fingers
see a
crossed.
show on anacondas, leave a comment below.
Anaconda or just the invasive snakes of Florida.
Yeah,
I mean,
any
in
kind
general,
of invasive species, throw us something, throw us a comment, and
because they are ravaging the
yeah.
native species in the Everglades. Like there's species that have 90% disappeared.
that would be a killer show, man.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
I don't think people understand.
I don't think I'm going to get
how big-
approved because they had over 2,000 applications and they're only accepting 20 to 30. Even though I have experienced snake hunting, I did a little as a child.
for rattlers, right, in Texas.
And we used to hunt snakes in my aunt and uncle's barn in Indiana.
Gotcha.
I neglected to put that part in my application, so I
Right.
kind of screwed up a little bit. And plus, I have the military training and all that. So, yeah. Anyways,
Speaking though,
should we get back to USOs
well, here's
and
the
get
thing.
back on
Yes,
track?
you just talked about military, right?
Sure.
So we have the guest calling in probably any minute. Right?
Okay.
You threw a little teaser at me.
I did.
Right, talking about.
I like to
your-
tease.
Okay, so Erik, military guy, right?
Yeah. Spent 7 years in the Army.
Explain your whole military thing real quick first. I want to get a little background on that because actually, to be honest, I really don't even know much about your military background. And then after that, tell us your story.
Oh, okay. Sure. So, shortly after high school, I wasn't doing anything with my life at all. I was a real piece of shit. And parents gave me an ultimatum: "Hey, move out, join the Army, do something, get out of our house." I said, "All right, I guess I'm joining the Army." I'd been to a military school for high school before that, so I already had a little bit of.
Did you have a mustache?
Not yet. No.
Gotcha. Okay.
I actually grew this. I started at NTC when we were training to leave for Iraq. Yep. But joined the Army in 2004.
Okay.
Immediately went to Germany after basic training, which a 19-year-old in Germany, again, shit show. I drank every chance I got.
My wife is from there, sir.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I've talked to her
know the
about
Germans,
that.
yeah.
So things got a little wild there.
Okay.
I mean, we bought UFC gloves and headgear, and we would have fights on the third floor of our barracks. We'd just get drunk and go up there and fight. It was nuts.
So was it fun?
It
all
was
in all, like
it was a blast. I wish I would have done it a little differently. I was never that motivated guy. I always try to find my way out of stuff. It was a job to me.
Right.
I always tried to volunteer to deploy because that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to go feel like I was actually doing something.
Right.
The first 4 years I was in, I was a prison guard, which was just absolutely bored the death out of me. It was boring as hell. And you had to see a lot of penises, and that's not my thing. So after that, I got stationed in El Paso.
Right.
Straight from penises to El Paso.
Wait.
As a prison guard, you have to strip search people, and that's just part of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the showers. I was trying to like comprehend what you just said.
No, we had our own showers. But yeah. I mean, all the guys.
So it wasn't like a. So wait, when you're in the military, it's not like a shower where like there's like 10
in basic
guys.
training, it is. But once you're out of there, typically, and there's still a few open showers, I think, and active. But typically it's a couple different rooms will share a shower. So like two guys will share a shower, but it's a regular bathroom.
Right.
And when I got to El Paso, it was awesome because I somehow finagled my way into a small detachment that worked at the MP station. I was an MP.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that. Military police. And so we just manned the radio for the MPs patrolling.
Right.
Which I hated patrolling.
Why?
Again, it was boring. You're sitting there waiting for speeders and stuff, and
Right.
I sped everywhere I go.
So you want action?
Yeah.
Did you want
I
action?
get bored easily. And then if I get bored, I fall into a depression, and that's when I start drinking a lot. And that's kind of what happened in Germany is I was bored the entire time.
Beer?
Anything.
Gotcha.
Beer, bourbon. I love bourbon. So
How were the Germans?
the Germans in general?
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
They don't really have a sense of humor.
Not at all. Which I mean, anybody that knows me, I'm always joking.
My
around.
wife is German, so I can say what I want. They don't have a sense of humor.
No.
My mother-in-law, I'll tell her a joke,
Yeah.
and she looks like she wants to punch me in the face.
Well,
It's,
that's how most of your jokes are, so I can understand that.
Right, correct.
Yeah. But El Paso, my first job with working at that MP station.
Right.
We worked 12-hour shifts, but somehow we worked it to where we worked 4 days on, 4 days off. And that was our
4 days off.
Yeah, that was my schedule for.
I want to be an MP.
Yeah, dude, that was the only place it was like that where we had it like that, and it was amazing. Every other week, I would go up into the mountains of New Mexico and go camping on Elephant Butte Lake, which was a crystal clear lake,
right?
And just go bass fishing and just sleep right there on the beach. It was awesome. I had a Jeep Wrangler at the time, just cruising up the sand dunes and just come down on the lake. Man, I was loving it. But again, I was getting bored, so anytime an opportunity to deploy came up, I always volunteered. I got the opportunity. I went through.
So I wouldn't say you were lazy. I mean, you're volunteering. You're getting the opportunity. Or
No.
There's an opportunity, and it's not like you're not grabbing it.
Sure, but I'm definitely lazy. But I also wanted to feel like I did something, you know. And so check this shit out.
Right.
I had already volunteered many times and never got the opportunity. I volunteered this time. They sent me to what's called IRT, Individual Readiness Training, because the unit had already deployed. They just needed a couple extra men.
Right.
But we had to get a crash course on training before we headed out.
Okay.
So it's Individual Readiness Training, which was a group of people that once we left El Paso would go out to different units already deployed.
Gotcha.
So I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks long, 3 weeks maybe. Right. And the last week, I ended up catching swine flu.
What?
Yeah. So,
you caught that?
But I still wanted to deploy, so I didn't say anything. And I'm out there in the desert of El Paso doing land nav courses that are miles long, just fucking
ghostly
dying.
white. Like, did you lose like 20 pounds?
I have no idea. I mean,
was it all like a blur?
My mind wasn't right, and so we ended up having a physical the night before we were going to fly.
Swine flu.
I got swine flu, dude.
That is unbelievable.
It was nuts, and they caught it at my physical on the way out. They like looked at me
were you
and
standing
took
in line, and were you like, oh fuck?
Yeah. And sure as shit, they ended up putting me on quarters, bed rest for 2 weeks, and all this other nonsense. Right. And then I ended up getting onto 1st Armored Division, 1st Brigade Combat Team headquarters, and as the only MP platoon in that, I think it was battalion. I think the other battalions had them. I don't remember, though. And, we ended up deploying for a year in Iraq. The first 6 months, we were out on mission every day outside the wire, either delivering mail or providing security for VIPs, or we guarded voting polls when they had their second ever election there.
Right.
And then we guarded the ballots at a warehouse for a few weeks. We'd spend nights in our truck just at a warehouse.
Were they trying to just fix that all the time?
Fix what?
The election?
I don't know.
Not us. I'm saying like how did that work?
My guys had no involvement in it. We would park.
You would guard it.
Right, well, but like a quarter mile down the road. And we'd have snipers looking at it.
Okay.
We'd be looking. So... excuse me. So yeah, we did that the first 6 months. Just different missions every day. Sometimes it was just drive around until we tell you where to go.
Right.
And then I come back from R&R leave, rest and relaxation, or whatever they want to call it, right at the 6 month mark. And now our job was to basically drive around these like Toyota Helixes, they're like Tacomas, drive around the base and cordon off any like rockets or anything that came in. So like nobody came around it, and that was kind of it. Just kind of patrol the base. So, and then we guarded the gate a little while and did other stuff. And then I was thinking about re-enlisting. They didn't want to offer me any job changes because the whole 7 years I was in, I was bored as an MP. I didn't want to patrol. I didn't want to be a prison guard.
Right.
So I tried to become a UAV repairer. So work on unmanned aerial vehicle drones. Be a drone mechanic.
Oh, now this is getting interesting.
So that's what I wanted to do, and they wouldn't offer it to me. They said, no, we're not going to offer you any training at this time. We'll give you a small bonus since you're re-enlisting in Iraq, but that's it. And I was like, I'm getting out.
Now let me ask you.
And then I got out and went to college.
Let me ask you this, though.
If you must.
The drones, right?
Yeah.
Are they... Now, this is just a rumor that they're like 20 years actually ahead of what we see. Is that true?
I
mean, what did you see?
The drones I saw...
Right.
I think one was called a Raven, which is a smaller... If I remember correctly, I didn't see a whole lot, and we only had a drone operator with us once or twice on mission.
Gotcha.
I think it was called a Raven, and somebody in the comments can correct me, but it was a smaller... I want to say it wasn't the helicopter style. I want to say it was a plane style drone.
Are you talking like, like those jets that have the, what's that called? Where it's like...
Udders?
Yes.
Udders.
Is that what you mean?
Udders? Like
Is
for a
it
cow?
udder?
That's what you milk a cow from. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, like those fucking jets. You know, they got those jet engines.
Thanks for clarifying. The jets with jet engines?
I don't know. I forget. But yeah, if it's not a helicopter, it's a jet engine, right?
Right, essentially, yeah. I think it used propellers actually. I don't remember. This was 10 years ago now.
Right.
And I only saw it once or twice. And actually, I don't even think we saw it in Iraq. I think we saw it at NTC, the National Training Center in Death Valley, California.
How many people do you think see a drone and think it's a UFO? Percentage.
Well,
give me a percentage.
Well,
you're a military guy.
I can't because drones are still relatively new. I mean, I think the military's been using them longer than I know they have. You know, I had a secret security clearance, but nothing was shared with us with that. That was just because we were MPs. We had to have it.
Right.
So 15 years ago, the military was using them.
Right.
So which means that's how long I knew they were physically. So yeah, at least 5 or 10 years before that they were using them.
You want to move that mic? Is that bugging you?
Oh, this?
Yeah, you got it?
No, it's all right.
All right.
Yeah.
We forgot to take that down.
Thanks for looking out for me, though.
That's what I do, man.
Yeah.
Save lives. Okay, but now tell me about
my experience.
Your experience.
So, myself.
And this wasn't a drone. Before we get into this was not like your experience seeing the drones.
Right.
Would you say 100%?
So what I saw, it was myself.
Okay.
And I had a friend from middle school that was with me that I've known since middle school. Who he spent just as much time in the Marine Corps.
This was Iraq.
No. This is on South Padre Island, Texas.
Really? We
were camping out because we were going to head offshore the next morning. So we're camping on the beach in Penns, Padre Island National Seashore.
Gotcha.
And I want to say we were, 5-10 miles down. And we're just hanging out by the campfire, shooting the shit. And it was cloudy. It was overcast.
Okay.
So it wasn't a clear sky. But all of a sudden, from like out on the water, but in the air.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it came out of the water.
No. It came out from over the water, from the horizon over the water, and came at us, like directly at us, over our heads. And it was a grouping of lights that were flying faster than any aircraft I know of or my Marine Corps friend knew of, because he saw it too. And they were weaving in and out of each other. And all you could see were the lights because it was shining through the overcast clouds. And they were just flew right past us. We kind of all looked at each other like, did you see that? And we're like, yeah. And our other friend goes, oh, that must have been like a jet or something. And me and the guy that spent time in the Marine Corps.
Right.
Well, one, jets make a lot of noise. We didn't hear a thing.
So there was no noise.
No sound. And two, both of us agreed that we don't know of an aircraft that flies that fast. Because they were just flying right past us.
I think the first thing a doubter would ask, right, would be, was it some kind of like light? Like literally light? Like those big lights when you're going to like New York City that shine up in the sky?
No, like a spotlight.
Yeah, like
this was not shining up from the ground, because you can always see that trail of the light shining up.
Sure, but it was over.
This was
fast,
shining
right?
down through the clouds.
Ooh.
Yeah, for sure.
How big would you say they were? Estimate.
I mean, that's hard to tell because the
speed.
Dissipation of the light through the cloud.
Okay.
They were round.
So they were disc-shaped.
At least the light was. The lighting, I don't know about the craft. We couldn't see the craft. We just saw the light shining. Gotcha. And assuming it was 3 different crafts weaving in and out or doing whatever it's doing. I mean, I really can't gauge the size. They were moving so fast. But and what was weird is they were going through the clouds and there was no sort of like, that chaser on the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was none of that. It was just the solid light moving through.
You would say, though, they weren't, like, small.
No, they weren't small. I would not
sound.
Small. No sound. That's what blew our minds. There was no sound.
Now, is there any military bases in that area?
Not to my knowledge, but it also doesn't really matter because these aircrafts the military use can cover so much.
Sure.
Air. I mean, they can refuel midair. They can fly from anywhere.
Right.
I mean,
so you were there with other military people.
One other veteran.
Right.
Who he had spent time in Iraq. He like I said, 7 or 8 years in the Marine Corps.
Right.
And
he knows his shit.
They spend more time around aircraft than I would in the Army.
Okay.
We have helicopters and stuff, but they have all of it.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely strange. I mean, there's got to be more out there. We can't be the only planet with living beings.
No, I agree. I mean, and once again, he's calling any minute, guys. So I'm going to just keep this going here with Erik.
Sure.
Because I want to tell you a quick story, what I saw in New Jersey years ago. Now
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, now this was way back when Jay was a host with me on the podcast.
Okay.
We actually talked about it, and I'll never forget it. And it's funny you mention the non-sound.
Oh yeah.
Right, and the weird light. Now, again, like I'm going to explain this, and this is really strange, but I'm going to explain what it looked like the best way I can to compare it to Star Trek. I know that sounds weird.
Yeah, I don't even like Star Trek.
Okay, well, my dad will kill you.
No, I don't like Star Wars either.
Well, I used to like Star Wars until they got all liberal.
Oh, jeez.
Until they got all, everyone can be a champion.
I don't even know.
I
I
don't
don't
even
even know what that means.
It's
I don't
deep,
understand
man.
it.
It's deep.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
So, I was in high school. I was in. We had a hot tub in our backyard.
Ooh, sexy.
And like a pool, and it was wintertime.
Okay.
So we used to go into the hot tub, and then we would play this weird, stupid game. We
Where
would
you
jump in the pool,
Yeah,
and go back in the hot
I know that
tub.
game.
Right.
We've done that before.
Have you ever done it where it was so cold, like you guys kept jumping in and out where it froze, and then you all went to jump out and you all like ate
Joe,
it?
Calm down, Joe. Calm down, Joe. I'm from Texas.
Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't that cold.
Has it ever snowed in Texas?
It snowed yesterday in Amarillo, Texas, like a lot.
Weird.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know why people live in those conditions. Like,
Yeah. Well, look, all right.
they all need to move to Florida so my property value goes up.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in the hot tub. It's me and my ex-girlfriend at the time, and a buddy.
Okay.
And we're all just talking, hanging out, and you're in a hot tub. You're kind of just looking up, and I love that cool air, and then it's hot,
yeah,
so you're
sure.
kind of just like relaxing. And I'm looking up, and again, it's so hard to describe. This is the weird part.
Yeah, that's it.
And we all saw it. So the stars, as I'm looking up, the stars are, it looks like they're morphing through, like, picture like a ball that's see-through, right?
Okay.
And you put that see-through ball like over something, and it
warps it?
And it warps it.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm looking up, and I'm like, am I drunk, or is
any hallucination?
well,
Any
that's
hallucinogens
nothing,
involved?
and that was the thing. That night, nothing. And I'm like, I'm rubbing my eyes because you have the steam from the hot tub.
Sure,
It's cold. The steam is rising, so you're kind of like, is it fucking with me? And then I look over at Carrie, my ex, and she looks at me the same way I'm looking at her, like, do you see
What's going on up
and
there?
then I look, and then we both look straight ahead where you are at my buddy, and he's like this.
Wow.
And we're like, what the fuck? So I look back up, and this thing, Erik, it was low, and this was a clear night. I mean, not a cloud in the sky, quiet. We lived in the woods, Jersey Shore, but like closer to the Pine Barrens. So, I mean, there was not a peep.
I hear there's a lot of syringes on the beach in Jersey Shore. Is that a thing?
Certain areas.
Okay.
Yeah. They're cleaning it up. They're trying.
Sure.
But
They need to get themselves a 4Ocean up there. 4Ocean take
it's all
care of
those
that real
pennies,
quick.
man. They come in from New York and...
Got to look their best. Got
it up,
to shoot that stuff up and do some sit-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've been working on my abs.
Good. Oh, good.
Yeah, I went running
Okay.
a few days ago.
They feel good?
Yeah, I think Ace and I are going to go for a run after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome to join.
No.
No? Not a cardio guy?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, just working out.
Sure.
And so again, long story short, so I'm like, so my dad is inside.
Uh-huh.
So I'm instantly like,
Daddy!
this is weird. So first of all, there's no sound at all. We're sitting there, and it's moving really slow. It's like just super slow, but this thing is so big.
Did it seem like it was checking y'all out at all?
No,
or just
but it
cruising?
was just cruising, but it was so big and low. Like, this thing was low, man.
How big are you talking about here?
Dude, this thing was the size of, like, my town.
What?
I am not kidding you. It was massive.
What?
It kept going and going and going, but you could see the end of it. That's the weirder part. In the horizon, you could see
The incoming, huh?
like a weird. It looked like a ball that was see-through.
Huh.
So the reason why I mentioned Star Trek is, I went inside to grab my dad. He didn't believe me. He's like, he was sleeping on the couch, like
leave me
this
alone.
bullshit.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
I mean, I know
so I
that.
was like, fuck it then. I ran back outside, and of course, this is before, you
got a camera on
you
it
picked
in
up
your
your
pocket,
phone and just
right.
can take a shot,
Sure.
and. So I ran back outside, and Carrie's like, look at this thing. And now they're like out of the hot tub, freezing cold, like 20 degrees, and they don't even care.
Right.
They're just looking up like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so I look back up.
Oh, is that our caller?
No.
Oh,
thought it was.
You just forgot to silence your cell phone. Cool.
Yeah, I know.
Cool, man.
So
Rookie
so
mistake,
I look
sir.
back up, and the only conclusion that I can think of is that it was either good idea.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to sound now.
Great.
Because that was picking us up the whole time. Should be saying it should be fine because we were just talking, but whatever. Lesson learned.
So the only conclusion that I thought of was it was like in Star Trek, like a bird of prey, a cloaked ship
Sure.
that wasn't supposed to, the only way you're going to see this thing is if you literally were like we were doing,
Focused on it.
looking
Yeah.
up at the stars, talking about the stars.
Do you know if anyone else in your town saw it at that time?
Crazy. Here's the crazier part.
Ooh.
So the next day in school,
Uh-huh.
everybody was fucking talking about it.
What?
Even the teachers. And there's a military base that was close to us. There were
Sure.
calls asking if they were doing like a drill, and
See, there's
just-
just
it
so
just
much.
went away.
There's so
It's
much
so
stuff out there
weird.
none of us know about. It's hard for, like when I see people arguing politics online, or when I see people arguing about this online, it's like none of us know the truth. None of us know
know.
exactly what's going on.
I
Like,
know.
quit thinking you do.
No, you're right.
And let's just go about our business.
yeah.
And there's amazing things out there that we don't know about.
I'll tell you, man, whatever that was, listen, I do believe that there's other life and aliens and stuff like that, as most of you probably know.
The universe is too vast for...
I believe what I saw, I think it was honestly man-made.
Yeah.
I think it was like a cloaking technology.
Really?
Have you heard of the Philadelphia Project?
In
World War
I have
II?
not. Can you school us real quick?
So Edison, it was Edison, Einstein, some of the best brains, some of the Nazi scientists that we captured.
Sure.
Some of the guys that created NASA, which I don't know if most people know this, but a lot of Nazi scientists helped create rockets in NASA. And they put their minds together, and they literally created a cloaked ship, not a spaceship, a
Craft.
like destroyer, like a
Okay,
ship in
watercraft.
the water. Correct.
Gotcha.
And that it would go cloaked, but the problem with it was it would disappear entirely.
And they couldn't
and-
see it, or what about the people inside?
No, the
Like,
reason why what I'm trying to say is the reason why it's called the Philadelphia Project is I believe they shot off Washington with the project, and it appeared when it reappeared, it was in Philadelphia, and when it reappeared, everyone that was on the ship when they did these tests were like inside out and like through. You never heard this? And like
No.
there's a whole book on it too, and they were like in like metal. They were like stuck in metal and
What do you mean by stuck in metal?
like.
Well, they were all dead, though, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you
they
can't
were,
live
they
through
were,
that.
they were all dead, and they were like stuck in like the metal, like fused with it.
Ah.
So like what they feared was they messed around with the atoms and molecules and all that crazy stuff, right? And instead of it being like cloaked, it actually like left our dimension.
Sure.
And
I've heard of fourth dimension stuff.
and
that-
reappeared and killed
Man,
everyone.
If only one of those guys lived and we could have talked to him, that would have been nuts.
Dude, imagine
Crazy stuff.
getting
man.
on that ship and seeing these guys inside out and like all like
That
fused.
smell, man, must have been terrible.
But I mean, it's just so strange. And listen, to every rumor, right?
Sure.
There's some, even if it's minute, there's a piece of truth in there, right?
Sure.
If in the 40s they were working on this technology, which we know for a fact they were, we just don't know if that
were
story was
attempting.
real.
Sure.
So if let's say they were attempting this in the 40s, right? Which was what, 80 years ago now?
Yeah, damn near, yeah.
Yeah. So to think that they wouldn't have something close to what I saw technology-wise now,
Right.
I think would be a stretch. I think
What
it's
about
definitely
this?
possible.
What about this theory on your sighting? Pocket of gas. Pocket of some sort of weird gas moving through the atmosphere on its.
And that's a good point, but I'm going to tell you why it wasn't that.
Okay.
The reason being is on the outskirts of this object. First of all, it was like a perfect, not a circle. It was like an oval.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Like the Chicago bean.
Yes.
Okay.
But perfect.
Yeah.
Not only was that perfect, but it on the outskirts of it. Think of a jellyfish, right?
Sure.
You know how some jellyfish, they're like gooey and see-through, but they have these iridescent lines.
Right. Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? Like through them. This
They
thing
turn a certain way, and the light.
right.
So
This thing had these like iridescent lines on the outsides of it that were like, you just felt like you could mush it.
Really?
The weirdest thing I've ever seen, man.
Huh.
There was no way it was gas. It had like some sort of technology to it because of the lights and the.
But I mean, gases can cause that as well.
Man, this was an object, man.
Yeah.
I know it, and the way that when you look straight up at this thing and you can just tell it was an object.
Sure.
Like it was just meant for you. We all looked at each other and said, "We're not supposed to see this." Like this thing was made to.
But I mean, why would they test? Well, maybe that's why they would test stuff
Why
in a
not?
populated area to see if anybody saw it, and see how good it works.
How good it works. Fly it low.
Sure.
Right. Fly it low on a clear night.
Yeah.
And see how many people see this
the
thing.
response. Which
And it
maybe
had
that's
no
why it
sound.
never happened again, because too many people saw it.
Yeah, and listen, that thing made zero sound.
Yeah,
like
that
you
was-
were saying.
that- yeah,
that's
that's
the
wild,
weirder
man.
part. That's freaky.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it's
just-
freaky when it's freaky that Tesla cars don't make any sound when you drive those.
Yeah, man, that's technology. That's where
yeah.
it's going. You know, I mean, look at AI at this point. You know,
Sure.
you have a guy like Eli Musk saying
Eli. Sure. Names are tough.
right? But you have a guy that's basically saying we've made a mistake. Like we've gone too far.
Oh, with AI, yeah.
already. Like we've
A
gone,
lot of the top minds are like, we should chill this
yeah,
out.
we've gone too
Well,
far.
everyone they've done, when they've asked them about humans, they've all pretty much said, yeah, we're going to destroy humans. Like, humans shouldn't be here. Y'all are fucking up the world. And I was like, God damn.
Well, you know what the scariest thing is nanotechnology.
Yeah.
You know what they always say, right? I don't know if they say this in the military. You don't fear war or fear aliens or fear bombs and all that. You fear disease, right? Because it's like the silent
I've never
killer.
heard this in my life.
So,
well, yeah, I mean, I get it.
It's like the silent
Sure, yeah.
death, right? It's
Right.
something that like you can't fight
Well,
physically.
you don't know what's happening till it happens.
Right. So,
you
like-
can't fight against it. You can't.
So the
plan
scariest
ahead.
thing is, and we should do a podcast on this, is military testing on nanotechnology, like robotic diseases.
Oh, okay.
That is like,
It's basically a virus they implant in your body.
right, but it's like nano robotic
Sure.
fucking cells, dude.
Yeah.
That, to me, is probably the scariest thing humans have ever.
Well, have you heard of this? Let me ask
Tested.
you this. So you know all these 23andMe and fucking family tree websites that
Yeah.
you send in your DNA.
Yeah,
I
would never do that.
I would never either.
No
dude.
fucking way.
Now there's a giant database with all your
Now they're
information.
cloning
and
you
DNA.
and shit.
Yeah,
you know,
I
like
mean,
fuck. All right.
who knows what they're doing with that? I'm sure most of it's innocent, but
You think Alexa's innocent?
But you're opening that door is what you're doing.
Of course.
You know.
Look at
And,
your cell phone, right?
Well, yeah.
Your cell phone is you.
Yeah.
So I'll put it to you this way: your cell phone is like an extension of you right
Sure.
now, right?
It knows all of my interests. It knows.
It's a piece of your body,
Sure.
just about, right?
When
So-
I die, I just want you to talk to my cell phone and see what I'm about.
can I?
Sure.
Can we like do like a robotic mustache thing on there?
Do whatever you want when I die. I'm not around. Just don't do weird.
It would
stuff
suck
to me.
if you were around and you just stand there and just watch everyone else for
I might.
eternity.
Depends on how I die.
That would suck.
Nah, that won't happen. I will.
Fucking better hope not.
The ground. I will decay into the ground, and all of the plants will
Grow.
and fungus, and they'll all feast off my nutritionist or whatever it's called. My.
It's pretty disgusting.
I mean, that's what happens. You just decay into the ground, and everything eats you, and then you're done.
You know, you can pay to be a tree, right?
I saw that, and that would be cool.
That is
That'd be cool.
actually not
I would rather.
bad.
I was thinking I wanted to be cremated, but now I'm thinking that
be a
would
tree,
be the,
right?
Yeah. Or I mean, everyone knows I'm a big proponent of cannabis and its medicinal values. It'd be awesome to be grown into my own cannabis strain.
That is so weird.
Told you, man. I'm into weird stuff. Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
Your own cannabis strain.
Yeah,
What strain would you be?
That's a good question.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they just call it El Pescador Erik or some sort of mustache strain. So, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens.
Well, all right. Speaking of that, we do have our guest calling in.
Fantastic.
And you ready for this?
I'm always ready, sir. That's why I'm here. Ready to rock and roll.
Let's talk aliens, baby.
All right. So, let's switch over to the phone call.
All right.
3, 2, 1. And